On or after January 19, 2023, 2 years ago, a woman named Mary How Say Ho, H-O, was put in my mother's house against my mother's wishes by my brother Chris Farley. Within 3 days of that, on January 22nd, 2023, to be exact, a friend of my mother's from my mother's church named Connie Geist wanted to visit my mother and pray with her. And Mary Ho was here and would not let my mother's church friend of many years pray with my mother. Mary Ho said she's not on the list. And I was thinking, what list? My brother Chris has created a list and only those people on the list are allowed to see my mother. My brother Chris lives 350 miles away. Before the pandemic, he visited maybe once a year. He doesn't know who my mother's friends are, and why should there be a list? Anyway, my mother was not mentally incompetent. No judge had declared her to be mentally incompetent. No doctor had declared her to be mentally incompetent. She could handle her own affairs. So the next day, I tried calling the house, and for the first time, the phone wouldn't pick up. We had an answering machine, and it just rang and rang and rang. And I thought, that's strange. What happened? But fortunately, my mother called me and said she's never been as frightened in her life, that she's never felt as stepped on in her life, that this woman, Mary Ho, treats her like an idiot dog. Those are my mother's words. And my mother called me the next day as well, saying she couldn't believe what Chris had done, putting someone in her house without her permission. My mother said she never would have done that to her own mother, that her mother lived happily in her home. Her own mother, that is my grandmother, lived happily in her home till she died. But I decided to return to the home, which was actually my home, but I had a job in another location. And when I came back to the house, I saw something worse than what I had imagined. Mary Ho had taken over perhaps half of our house. In our garage, you couldn't fit a car there because there were 50 boxes, 50 boxes, belonged to Mary Ho in our garage. She'd taken over, by my estimate, about 4 rooms in the house. My mother had been in a particular bedroom for the dozen years since my father had passed away, and now my mother was moved to another room. Mary Ho had taken over the room my mother had been sleeping in, but even in the new bedroom that my mother had been put in, Mary Ho still had more of Mary Ho's belongings, including 2 gigantic suitcases, each one of which was larger than any suitcase that I'd ever tried to lift in my entire life. And my mother's belongings were strewn on the floor in disarray. My mother hates disarray.